All right, fashion dolls. Let me see if we can get Renaissance back in here. Again, we apologize about the technical difficulties that we were having. It paused on us for a sec. So let me shoot this back to him. It completely froze. And again, as you guys all know, today's show is sponsored by Exclusive Beauty, so make sure you guys go and check out Exclusive Beauty Hair Store. All right, we're back with Renaissance. Let me add him back. All right, are we back?
All right, we're back. We're back. Did you hear my five? Because after I said my five, you started buffering. I didn't know if I would hear me.
Yeah, I didn't get the last three. All I heard was gummies.
Okay, so I said my son, gummies, music, movies, and the gym. Those are 5 things that I can live with.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you guys have been waiting for. It is time to turn those tables. So it is Renaissance's time to ask Miss Stevie some questions. And anything he asks her is off limits. So I do this with all of my guests here. So I'm going to pass the torch on to Renaissance. Go ahead.
Okay. Motivated you to start this type of show with interviews and talking to people?
I would have to say my mom and my grandma. Mom is a Scorpio as well too, and mainly some of the women in my family, they're outspoken. They always got something to say. So when I was born, 8 years old, I remember just picking up a magazine article and just reading it. It had Toni Braxton on the front cover. My grandmother was taking me to the doctor's office, and she said, "Oh, my grandbaby is reading." So as I'm growing up throughout school, I always would pick up something to read. I always would be informed. I always would be watching the news. Always just in tune with what's going on in the world at a very, very young age. And me not being able to comprehend it and understand it, just being able to read was enough for me. But as I got older and I got up in high school, standing up and reciting the lines of Shakespeare in public speaking class and so much more, led up to me getting this platform, because I wasn't always outspoken. Like, it took me a long time to build up my confidence to where it is right now, to be vocal and be doing these interviews, because I wasn't the best speaker at that time or in that moment. But now I feel like I've totally progressed, into my own. I'm 27. So just developing as a woman, fully, mentally, all of these things, spiritually, I'm happy to be where I'm at.
What's something people might not know about you that is interesting? That's a good question.
What's something interesting that people might not know about? I'm a little bit afraid of the dark. That's something. I try to be this warrioress type of woman. I try to be tough and powerful at the same time, but yeah, I get afraid of the dark too. Like, when I go out, there has to be some sort of light, or I will use the flashlight on my phone. The lights will be out in the house. But yes, that's something that people may not know about me, and I'm bold enough to put it out there. I've always tried to be transparent.
So here we go for everybody. Your top 5 pet peeves that get your damn nerves.
Oof. Being ignored is one. Bad energy is 2. Number 3, are we back?
We're back. So number 3.
Yes, number 3, I said bullies. Number 4, Bad breath. Bad breath. Um, Number five, what would number five be? Well, we've already said negativity, so that would tie into bad energy. Number five, mm, I'm trying to think. I can't think. Five pet peeves. Five pet peeves that really,
Hey, I
really
gotta
drive
stump
my
people.
nerves.
I gotta stump people. Hey, this is a first.
I totally hate when people wear matching outfits. Like when I was young, I always would match my eyeshadows to everything that I wear. I hate that. So I now, as I've developed my own sense of style, that's changed. So that's something that drives me crazy. Like, get over it. It's so overdue.
I feel you on that. Um, so where would you want to take your show and your career? Like, if we could say in 10 years, where would you be? Where would you see yourself?
I would see myself with my own national platform, my own national network, where content creators like ourselves, actors, black actors and actresses, and journalists, bloggers can all be in one safe space, just creating their content, whether it's delivering the news or delivering a piece that they created or directed, showcasing their films, showcasing their projects. It would be all under one, sort of like BET, but a little bit different. It will be inclusive for everybody black, whether it's the
Gotcha.
LGBTQ community, whomever. But I want everybody black to be included on this platform. So that's where I see this platform going for. And I'm thankful. I've done over a total of 232 shows from Facebook to here. And I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm saying that number. Like I'm going through counting them up, and it's just like, wow, you've done so much, so many interviews. Some of them I can't even find or can't even remember till this day.
Hey, well, congratulations. Hey, and speak into existence. Like you said, it's gonna happen right here first. You feel me? So it will come to be. You know what I mean?
Yes, manifestation. That's something that I definitely stay firm and true to is manifestation. I believe that whatever you put out there in the universe, God has put it out there for you, and your job is to work on it and envision it. And that's what I had to do with this platform. So I'm truly thankful to be where I'm at right now at this point in my career.
Oh, definitely. I believe manifestation is a really big thing. And like I tell some people, you know, God, the universe, they don't distinguish between what you want and what you don't want. Whatever you're vibrating on is what's going to give it to you. You know what I mean? So I know some people will be like, well, why does this keep happening? Because have you been thinking about it a lot? Well, yeah, well, it thinks that's what you want. So change your mindset, focusing on what you want. Hey, if you meditate, meditate, you pray, do what you do, you know, but keep your thoughts aligned with your purpose and keep going this way. So I'm all about
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. So you get to ask as many questions. My guests, they could be like, okay, let me think of another question. Let me think of another question. And then we're going to take some questions from the audience, ladies and gentlemen, and then we're going to wrap up this interview.
uh, okay, I'll do two more. So, what challenges have you faced in your career so far that people might not know about or something like that?
I talk about that challenge all the time, and that is being black and being a woman that is in the LGBTQ community. So being a black woman is one of them mainly. So I open up about that all the time. I'm very transparent about that because, it's very, very difficult being a black woman in this industry where everything is so male dominated. So I've had to overcome a lot of obstacles to get where I'm at right now. And I'm thankful that I have a platform and a voice where I can get out here and show that, black women all over the world can be included into this, because I represent for the females on here, and then I've got two male co-hosts, which would have been here today, Johnny and EJ, shout outs to them. But we try to give it from both sides of the spectrum. So I have to represent for the ladies. Hmm.
I got you. I like that. So my last question will be another five. Your top five since we're on movies, I'm at your top 5 movies.
Ooh, okay. um, all right.
Okay,
We
you're back now.
Yes. I was saying I love anything with Whitney Houston. The Bodyguard is one of my all-time favorites. Um, Waiting to Exhale is another one of my favorites. Um, The Devil Wears Prada is one of my favorites. Um, some people might label this as their least favorite. Hitch with Will Smith is one of my favorites. Um, ooh, number five. Number five. What would number five be? I love to laugh, so I would have to say The Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy.
Well,
So
that's a good one. That is a good one. So that's it for my portion of the asking questions. I hope I did a decent job.
you did amazing. You did amazing. And all right, Fashion Dolls, if you guys have any questions for myself or Renaissance, feel free to type them in the comments. This was such a pleasure talking to you. We have been waiting for this interview, so I'm thankful and blessed that I got to speak with you today.
Oh, likewise, likewise.
And again, I apologize, you guys. My co-host couldn't be here with me today. Johnny and EJ. EJ's working on something. I can't say what it is just yet, so you guys just have to stay tuned. And Johnny, I think Johnny might have overslept or because he wasn't answering this morning. So hopefully the guys will be back next week and you will see them. Johnny will be back with me next week, you guys. And EJ will be back Saturday. So make sure you guys tune in for that. So my last question for you while people are waiting to form their opinions is where does Renaissance see himself and his career in the next 10 years?
I see myself doing this full time. I see myself in not only movies that I guess I would consider Hollywood or people would consider Hollywood, but also being able to do my own thing. Because my path is different than a lot of other people's. Because I know a lot of people are looking for deals and get to Hollywood and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not really looking for that. I look at Ava DuVernay, Issa Rae, the Tyler Perry route as far as making my own content to the point when they do come, they have to give me a partnership. It's not a deal where I have to do what they say. I can't pitch this. It's more of a partnership where, as you can see, Tyler Perry, Issa Rae, Ava, they kind of do what they want, because they built their fan base, and now they have the freedom to maneuver how they want to maneuver. So that's where you would see me in the next 10 years is maneuvering on my own, but still being able to go over here and do a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
So you want to produce and direct in the future?
Oh yeah, I'm doing that actually. At 11, we're shooting my film. I actually have 3 films this year that I've done. One, I can't tell you who's it's in the hands of, but we're waiting to see how that deal is going to go. The other one is still getting edited, and the third one I'm working on right now today is day 3 of it, and then we'll have 3 more days. So I do both. What I do is I call a 70-30. So one year you'll see me act 70% of the time, and I'll make 30% of content. Next year, which is this year is my 70-30 for direct and acting. So this year, these movies will be coming out, and I've been doing small little roles here and there.
Okay. So we just got to stay tuned. We got to stay tuned to see what you're going to be working on, because I'd love to have you back on in the future in due time when it's time to release 100%.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would love to, invite you to the premieres. You and your crew come to the premieres, check out the movies. You know what I mean? Before everybody else see them, and we could talk about them. Because I feel, well, I'll tell you about my two films that I'm doing personally and pushing. One is called Who the Men Talk To. Basically, I wrote that, with the co-writer, Q Will and Michael Bowie. It's basically about, I saw a market where black food. So, okay, you're back. So I saw a space where I only saw black men get to be vulnerable if it was a biopic. Other than that, they never tried to break down why we did what we did or whatever. It was just, this over here. So I made Who the Men Talk To basically to show different stuff that black men go through that we might not talk about. Like everybody knows, like the grandfathers, he might be funny, but he don't really talk a lot. I know mine don't, you know what I mean? And, a lot of us have been told, keep it all in or whatever. This newer generation, they're speaking up a little bit more, but I wanted to show it through film, like, not preachy, but just, hey, this was going on, et cetera, et cetera. And Intrigue, if you like Wait and Exhale, you like bodyguard type stuff, you'll definitely like Intrigue.
Okay, okay. Now, the first one, I'm gonna go back to the first one. You said who do men talk to, and I'm gonna make a point on that, because shout outs to Kiko Ellsworth, who was on General Hospital in Port Charles. I had him on the show a prior week before. Um, and he was saying that black men basically have to open up more as well too. Like in the black community, there's the stigma that we have to be strong all the time, and it's not just for black men, but it's for black women as well too. I know I get tired of the strong black woman narrative. There are days when I just want to hang up my cape and not have to save the world. I want to be vulnerable and I want to let the world down. I can't take it all on my back, you know? So for us within the black community, we have to talk about this, which ties into what? Mental health. And that's something that I've been talking about countlessly throughout the entire time on my show. Each and every week we've been talking about mental health on my show. Shout outs to Live Love Fashion by DC, Andrea X. My girls, we've had a conversation about that last week on mental health and how the black community has to unlearn what has been taught to us. Because for so long, especially for us growing up down here in the South, our parents would always tell us, go to God, just go to God and talk to God, it'll be okay. Yes, go to God, but God put therapists here for a reason. There's days when I'm not going to be okay. There's days when I'm not going to be perfect. And it's okay to not be okay. So we have to unlearn what has been taught to us with this having to be strong, not wanting to, seem weak or show emotion. And it's mainly black men. That's something that I've kind of been talking about too, which ties into what? Toxic masculinity. And for years, the stigma of black men is that, oh, don't cry. You look like a punk. You look weak. You do this. But I think for me as a woman, my perspective of a man crying is sexy because it shows me that you have emotion. It shows me that you're human. And most of all, that you're not keeping your anger bottled up inside, because the next thing you know, I use this analogy all the time. What happens when you shake a soda up and you unscrew
Yeah,
the top? It comes
it
pouring out.
explodes.
Yes. I remember watching this episode of Good Times, and it was James. He was in the now about, well, I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have no anger issue. And the next thing you know, he threw a chair against the wall and the chair broke. So that's basically what happens in the black household with some black men. They keep that anger bottled up inside, and the next thing you know, you're punching a wall, and then you're punching me next. So you have to unlearn it. We have to unlearn what has been taught to us, because that toxic masculinity, that anger, that bottled up emotion is dangerous. You can't keep it in. And anger is a poison, and you just have to figure out a way to release that poison. It's just like if you get bit by a snake. They're going to do what? They're going to have to take the poison out of you. They're going to have to take the poison out. So that anger, that poison, you need to release it. And there's so many ways within the black community. Even for me, I almost had an anxiety attack Thursday, and I literally had to take a break. I wasn't doing a show. because I felt everything was just crumbling down. So many things on my back crumbling down, and it's just like I hit a roadblock. And I said I couldn't do it, so I did not do a show that following Thursday. And everybody was checking on me. I said it's okay to take a break. It's okay to regroup and collect your thoughts, but find an outlet for you that works. And I know for me, changing up my appearance, fashion, not surgically, but hair, makeup, things that make me feel good is what makes me happy. And it doesn't have to be material things. It can just be taking a walk outside. It can be helping my mom plant flowers. I'm no Martha Stewart. I don't have a great don't like my mom, but find something that works for you. Even writing, writing is therapeutic.
Hello, you
And
back?
with that, yes, 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 yes. I was saying, find something that works for you. Don't keep that anger bottled up on the inside. Writing, and I'm a little bit of a bookworm. I love to read, so I'm always in a book. Even when I was in school, my head was always in the books. I was always reading. So yes, you can call me a little bit of a nerd, but a beautiful, sassy, sexy nerd at that. Okay, so
No,
find
I
something.
want to touch on that. I definitely agree with that as
Yeah.
far as the mental health and talking about that. And what I've done, like I do every year on Facebook. I don't have a timeline for it or whatever, but I always talk about my battles with depression and stuff. Because I remember the first year I did it, I had so many people that was first like, "You're depressed" or whatever. I was like, "Well, it wasn't like I can't show the world, because our society looks at it." But then I had so many people who I didn't know personally that were depressed that would hit me on the inbox and was like, "Yo, you inspired me to do more and get help and stuff like that," not knowing that they were depressed. So every year I make a point to make a post about depression just to let people know, hey, you're not alone. You know what I mean? And you can talk, you can get help. Don't let the whole, like you said, the strong black man thing end up making you blow your brains out or something. Because statistically, a lot of men, there's a lot of suicide for men that I've been learning about or whatever because they feel like they can't go with anybody or feel like, this or that. Or, sometimes also we as men, we'll find ways to hurt ourselves that we're like, well, at least I didn't kill myself, but you'll do certain things that are damaging to your body, your psyche, your lungs, whatever, your liver. So I agree with that. People need to talk and release it. We're all human at the end of the day.
And I'm thankful for people like Taraji P. Henson, who you mentioned in the beginning of our interview before we got cut, and Jennifer Lewis, and even now Big Sean. I would have never thought or expected him to come out and say something about mental health and depression. Big Sean, the rapper, he's doing something for it actually. So more and more black men are coming out and speaking on their mental health as well. You know, even Michelle Obama, the years that she's been in the White House, and she came out afterwards, and then that person occupied the White House for those 8 years. She said she suffered a low grade depression, and people were poking fun of it. And I'm just like, this is not funny. This is a serious matter. Like, there's people out here who will drink themselves to death, who will smoke themselves to death. Like, this is the only solution for them to cope with pain. And I know for me, I lost my sister back in 2018. June 29th, when that day rolls around, it was very difficult for me and my family because my cousin also got married that same day as well too. So it was a little bittersweet. I'm happy, but at the same time, I'm like, my sister isn't here. So she understood. We didn't go to the wedding, but it's been very difficult having to balance that. So me, what I do to protect my mental health and energy is, even when it comes to me as a journalist, giving some of the topics of what's going on in the world, for my sake, I have to unplug as well too. Like, there's just
Oh yeah,
certain things,
definitely.
yeah, I won't even touch on. Like, when this election rolled around, I was covering it heavily. Well, even to the point where they was tallying up the vote count. Like, I was on it, no sleep, staying up, checking my phone constantly to see, okay, did he get 373 yet? Did he get this yet? So I was on it, but I just decided not to cover politics because you will wear yourself thin. And I tell people that all the time. Don't focus on something that will wear you out. Don't allow it to beat you down and wear you out, because if you do, you will drain yourself mentally and it will
I,
start
I,
to show.
when you talk about this election, yeah, this election actually made me step back from politics because of everything that's going on. Because I had gotten to politics, I want to say maybe 10 years ago, and I was really following it. But this election, I just was like, you know what? Like you said, I got to unplug. So I haven't really been up on too much of this at all for a while because it was just too much.
Absolutely, 100%. So all right, I think we're back. And like I
Yes,
said, I
we're back.
literally had to unplug. Like, everybody was, I'm fine with them texting me, messaging me to check to see if I'm okay. I did a post. I said I'm gonna take a break for just this day. I need to take a break for just this day. Let me have time to myself to regroup and collect my thoughts, because there's so much that is going on around me. So I had a conversation with my girls this morning. Again, shout outs to Live Love Fashion by DC and Dre. I said, I'm not going to cover this because this is going to wear me down mentally. And I'm not going to focus on something that is going to stress me out or put fear into me more than anything. So, yeah, you got to be selective of what it is that you decide to give your energy to. And I try to give my
Definitely.
energy to things that are positive, but I critique what's going on in the world without wearing myself out or burning myself out to the point where I'm just tired or exhausted.
That's smart. You're a smart woman.
I know I said a mouthful, it was lengthy, but it needed to be said. And to those out there who are struggling with mental health, you're not alone. There's people out here that you can talk to, there's hotlines that you can call, there's people that you can reach out to. There's people that you can message and find out. I love the Unpacked project. Shout outs to them. They talk about mental health within the Black community as well a lot on their page. And shout outs to is it Tea Time? Yes, Tea Time. Shout outs to them as well too. They talk a lot about mental health and just the psych evaluation of us as Black people. Because again, for so long, this oppression that has been with us for at least 600 years is still there, and we have a lot to unlearn. So if we got to do it layer by layer. It's just like peeling an onion and getting down to those layers to find out at the root of the surface what's going on. So that's how I see mental health. What's going on with you? What's wrong with you? So I try to do mental check-ins with everybody to see how they're doing, and wellness check-ins to see how they're doing. Um, Even with friends and family, I've kind of gotten bad. I admit, I've kind of gotten
It
bad.
happened.
Yes,
It
but
happened.
I at least try to make sure that everybody's all right. You know, just a text, just a phone call. Hey, girl, how you doing? Or people will message me like, Hey, girl, what's up? What's going on? How are you feeling today? Just to check to see how I'm doing. So those are the little things that matters, and that's why technology to us and communication in general is so powerful. It's a very powerful tool. So use it wisely. I said a mouthful, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like no one has any questions. I can go on and conversate with Renaissance, but I can't, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to conclude it here. What piece of advice would you leave with your followers and your fans, Renaissance? Because they love you dearly.
Piece of advice I would leave with you guys is go for your dreams, man. Go for your dreams. I wouldn't say go for them blindly. I always believe in researching and knowing what you're getting into. Because sometimes your dreams, you might jump in and be like, hold up, this isn't what I want, you know. So go for your dreams. Listen to your heart as well. Some people want to live simple lives. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people want to be all the way to the moon. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. So go for what you want in life. I always say that. Remember, discipline. You can be motivated all day, but be disciplined in what you're doing.
Absolutely. And let everyone know where they can follow you, where they can find you.
You can find me here on Instagram at the Renaissance Jones, on Facebook, Renaissance Jones, on TikTok, Renaissance Jones. I'm a little ratchet, just doing my thing on there. It's funny, but yeah, follow me and make sure you follow the Intrigued film page as well. I see Brent Mosley jumped in here a little bit. He's my lead male on that project. Follow Intrigued. You guys are gonna love it when it comes out.
And go and check out Renaissance's EP Vibration on all streaming platforms right now. Again, listen to my favorite Sermon by the River. It is powerful, it is moving, it's riveting, and the visuals are everything. It's like Renaissance is sitting in the grass looking like a king. And he's got like this, what I think is called the sand, is it the Sankofa? He's holding this like Sankofa.
Oh, you mean the Unk? I was holding the Unk.
Yes, the Ankh. So make sure you guys go and check that out. And make sure you guys are being safe out here. Wear your mask, wash your hands. We love you and take care. And thank y'all for tuning in to Style by Stevie Talk Show with the handsome, the amazing Renaissance Jones. It was such an honor meeting you.
Hey, likewise. Thank you for having me. And everybody, hey, live your life, peace, love, and happiness. You feel me?
You too. All right, Fashion Dolls, be on the lookout for that clip. And this will be up on IGTV and Style by Stevie Daytime. Take care, everyone.
Have a good one, Queen.
You too, King.